In this video, we're going to show you how we went about creating this love basketball design. It's a very basic design. Looks complicated maybe, but it's really not complicated at all. And it's literally something we can whip together in just a matter of a couple of minutes here inside CorelDRAW. Once we understand a couple of tools inside CorelDRAW, a couple of functions here inside EasyStone, and you can whip this out in no time. So let me show you how we did this. First of all, we just grabbed our text tool and typed out LVE. I'll add a space between the L and the V for our basketball. And then we're going to change our font. But I'm going to use our font manager here inside EasyStone just because I can. So we're going to choose the College Slab font. And then we're going to take our love text and let's set the height of that text to be 5 inches. All right. Now, the width of our design can be whatever we want it to be. But I'm going to select my text. I'm going to unlock the lock ratio option. And I'm going to set this, I'm going to go 9 inches. So it keeps our height, but it just squishes it together. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to do an outline around our text. So we're going to grab our interactive contour tool and we're just going to click and drag to the outside. Now how much to the outside really doesn't matter because we're going to specify 3/16 of an inch. Now I don't know what the decimal equivalent is to 3/16 off the top of my head. So you just type in that fraction and CorelDRAW will automatically make that calculation for us and give us the appropriate amount of offset. And you can see what that is. Now you see here, there's a little sliver between the V and the E. And I would like that just for looks to be a little bit more distinct. So what I'm going to do here is switch over to my pick tool and use this text spacing option just to add a little bit of spacing between the V and the E there. You can see that? To me, that's just more visually appealing. So we're going to go with that. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and break, or just right click on our yellow area here, break contour group apart, and let's give that a different color. Maybe something like that for now. All right, so now we can go ahead and make our basketball. So we'll just do that somewhere down here out of the way. Just drag out a perfect circle. So we're going to grab our ellipse tool here in CorelDRAW, hold down the control key, that will constrain to a perfect circle. Then we're going to grab our 2-point line tool and go from quadrant to quadrant. Okay, we're going to pull down a guideline, not to the center point, but if you were to take from the center point and look at it from a half a circle, we want to go up about a third the way or so. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our 3-point curve tool and go from intersection to intersection, and we're going to go basically to the halfway point. Okay. So that's how we want that to be. Now the rest of it is just kind of your own creative freedom. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to drag out a curve like this. We're going to continue that curve like this, and then we're going to pull this curve like something like this. And you know what? If you're not happy with it initially, just pull it to where you are happy with it. I'm going to right click and smooth that out. Decide if I'm happy with that, which I think I am. And then I'm just going to actually delete this node by double clicking on it. And actually I'm not going to do that, but I will change it to a smooth node. All right, so we'll leave it at that. So that kind of gives us our line to our basketball. So I'm going to select that, hit the plus key on my keyboard to duplicate it, hold my shift key down, grab my full circle, and mirror. And now you can see we get the exact same line on both sides. So there's our little basketball. So now what we need to do is we just need to reposition it. I'll tell you what, let's group it together. And then we just need to reposition it and scale it so it fits in our design. And exactly where you place it, you can place it wherever you want to. I'm going to place it something about, I want to be able to tell that it's a basketball. And I think that will work okay. But I don't want it sticking out over on the left side of my L. So I'm just going to push it back over a little bit. All right, I think that's fine. And now what we're going to do is we're going to ungroup everything. Now there's 3 lines here that we really want to concentrate on. This one, let's add some thickness to it. We'll do 10-point thickness. This one, we'll add 10-point thickness. And this one, we'll add 10-point thickness. This one we're not actually going to wind up using because it's basically hidden by the letter. So we can just go ahead and delete that one for the time being. Now what I want to do here is I want to make a small adjustment top and bottom. I just want to extend this ever so slightly, top and bottom. And then also right here, just want to double click to add a node and just extend this out, something like that. Okay? And that's pretty well what we want to do there. Now, if we look in wireframe mode, those lines do not have any thickness to them. So we're going to select those lines to give them some thickness by hitting this button right here, Convert Outline to Object. Now all those lines have thickness, and then we're going to weld those together and go back to the Enhance mode here. Alright, so now the next thing to do is to grab our Smart Fill tool and just fill in the blanks. Very simple, right? So now we can go ahead and delete our black lines. We don't need those anymore. Now if you look at the original design here, there's a little bit of a gap between the letter and our basketball. So to get that effect, what we're going to do is take our blue and we're going to go ahead and give it a contour as well. And how much we give it, well, it doesn't really matter how much we give it, but in this case I think we'll just use the same amount. We use that same 3/16 of an inch. And then I'm going to actually take these orange bits of my basketball, combine those together into one object. We'll get rid of the outline property. We don't need that anymore. And then we're going to take our orange, or yellow here rather, and we're going to do Shift Page Up. And we're going to break contour group apart, right? And so we're going to take that yellow and our orange basketball and we're going to trim, and then we're going to take both of these and do Control Page Down till they're behind what we want it to be behind, something like that. Okay, now this original basketball, you see it there, we're going to offset it. So come in here, same thing, 3/16 of an inch. There we go. And then we're going to break that contour group apart as well. So just right click and choose Break Contour Group Apart. Select it and our yellow and weld those two together. Now we can get rid of our basketball, so we don't need that anymore. So now you can kind of see how this design was created. So then the last thing to do is to go ahead and do one more offset. So again, we can grab our interactive contour tool, and I want to do it this way just to show you that you can do it this way mainly. But let's go ahead and change our color. And for the amount of offset, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do 3.5 millimeter. And so see how I'm able to override the current document dimensions, which is in inches, and just tell it I want to offset 3.5 millimeter. And now we have that offset exactly 3.5 millimeter. And then we're going to right click on that offset and break that apart as well. And then we're going to add stones to it. So here's our orange stones. We're going to hold down our Alt key and click on Add Stones. And what that does, it will detect the corners. And so you can see it's detected the corners really well. And in a couple of areas, we're going to come in here and break our stones apart. So we'll go ahead and choose the Delete Stone Paths. And you can see what we're going to do there. Just kind of look over the whole design. Can't really fit another one in there, so we'll just kind of have to leave that as is. But the rest of it, you can see it looks absolutely perfect. So that's good. So let's go ahead and add a weed box. So there's our weed box. And then we can just change some of our colors here. So we're going to change that to white. our text, let's tell you what, let's change that to black. And then our text, let's go ahead and give it a glitter fill of silver. And then for our basketball, we'll do orange. And then finally, we'll just go ahead and simulate our rhinestones. And if you want to, on the miscellaneous tab, we have this little add bling function, which just adds little sparkles. And sometimes I'll do it even inside my glitter, just to add an extra little sparkle here and there. And we're just clicking, anywhere we click, we can add a little sparkle. You don't want to overdo it. And then hit the escape key to get out of it. And we can also individually delete any sparkles that we don't want. So maybe we'll just do a couple like that. So you can see, very easy to create a really great looking design. Very simple combination of the glitter, regular heat press material, as well as the rhinestones as well. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you'll think about perhaps doing, other types. You could do a soccer ball, you could do a football, you could do a baseball, and have the same design done a variety of different ways. Thanks for watching.